So last but not least, on the control panel is your slide out. From the driver's side back all the way to the driver's side front is your slide out. Before you extend your slide out, you want to make sure nobody is sitting on the dinette, nobody's laying in the bed, and nobody's leaning up against the slide out. You don't want to have too much weight on the slide out because it is such a big slide. You can cause a lot of damage if there's any type of weight sitting on the slide out. So you want to make sure everybody's off of the slide out. There's not a lot of weight on there before you extend it. Also, a safety feature is you have to have the keys out of the ignition and the e-brake has to be engaged. So keys out, e-brake engaged, and then you can come here and press extend. Also, another warning, if you're any kind of on unlevel ground, you want to make sure that you have the RV level with your leveling blocks before you extend the slide out, or there is a possibility that the slide out will get stuck. So you can press extend, hold down on extend, and now it's extended. You also want to have the generator on when you're extending because it gives the slide out more power. You don't have to have the generator on, but having the generator on while you're extending or bringing it in helps give the slide out a little bit more juice so it goes faster. So it definitely gives you a lot more room. So you have your master bedroom TV, you have some reading lights here, you have your bedroom light, your other AC system for the back, and that controls right here. You have some storage areas and then storage above the bed. This bed itself is a queen size bed. It's an RV queen, but any type of queen size sheets will fit. You also have your privacy door for the bedroom. You just unhook it here and then you can open and close it, and you're able to lock it here. When you're traveling, you just want to make sure that you latch this in so it's not opening and closing and banging while you're driving. You have your vanity area here, your sink. In the sink you'll see some enzymes. These enzymes are for the toilet, so if you haven't dumped in a while, these are really just for the smell. You would just pop off the cap, dump this whole thing down the toilet and flush it down the toilet. And like I said, honestly, it's just for the smell. It doesn't really do anything additional. You have some storage areas here. You have your on and off switch for the vanity area. In this door, you have your bathroom. One roll of RV friendly toilet paper is provided to you. You either need RV friendly, marine friendly toilet paper, or it has to be 1 ply. Anything else that goes down the toilet that isn't RV friendly or 1 ply toilet paper will clog the toilet. A lot of problems that happen is people will use the restroom and they're not using enough water when they're flushing, so the toilet gets clogged. And as gross as this sounds, the best way to try and help fix that problem if it does get clogged is to press down on the foot pedal so the toilet is open. Take a stick, like a long stick from a tree branch, and just jimmy it down in there, and that will usually loosen whatever is caught in those pipes, and then usually that solves the problem. If you're using campsite water or you have your water pump on when this happens, you want to make sure you disconnect from the campsite water, or that you turn off the water pump, so that way when you open the flush you're not getting water in there. And then you stick this the stick in there and just try and jimmy it around. Sometimes you'll need a long stick to be able to reach in the pipe, but that's just a tidbit that unfortunately I've learned during RV travels. This is your shower, and your glass shower doors are right here. When you are traveling or not using the shower, this needs to be locked, so while you're driving, the shower door doesn't bang. And then when you're ready to use it, you just lift this up and you can open and close it normally. If you are not getting water when you're taking a shower, it's most likely because this little side button isn't pressed. So this turns it off, this turns it on. So you just want to make sure that's not in the off position. You also have a fan and vent. You can screw this to open it, and then you can turn the bath fan on like so. And your bathroom lights here. You just want to make sure that all the vents are closed before you start driving. Now we are in the kitchen area. You have a lot of counter space. Right here you have your charging and USB ports. Underneath you have your dinette light, and then this light strip here. You have a lot of storage up top. Your microwave is here. Again, RV has to be plugged in, or generator has to be on in order for the microwave to work. This is your oven and stove. This is your glass backsplash. So you just fold it back, and this is used in place of a backsplash. To light your oven, you would put this on the flame picture, and then this is your lighter, and you would just spark it. And then you can go high or low and turn it off. And then same thing here, put it on the flame, spark it, you go high or low, and then turn it off. Same thing here, flame, spark it, you can go high or low, and then turn it off. Before you bring the glass plate down onto the stove, you just want to make sure it's not hot, because if it's warm or hot, it will cause the glass to break. Right down here is your oven. So in order to use the oven, you would put it on the flame picture again, but you would leave it on the flame picture and take a lighter, and you would be lighting this silver pilot right back here. So you would take a lighter and light that silver pilot. It doesn't start off as a big flame, it actually starts as a very low flame. But if you have one of those long lighters, or just a regular lighter, you would just be lighting that pilot in the back there. And then you would be able to adjust your temperature for the oven. And then this is just like a light. You have some storage underneath the kitchen sink. Kitchen sink is here. The sink coverings are granite, so when you're not using the sink, you just want to make sure these coverings are always on or in a safe place to where they won't get damaged, because they will break. Right here you'll find your remotes. This one is for the radio in the front dash. You can tell that by the phone, and you have the choice of the radio or auxiliary. So you have a remote option for the driver's bay radio. This one is for your DVD player for the bunkhouse. Insignia, one Insignia TV is here, and the other Insignia TV is your outside TV. And then the LG one is for the bedroom TV. You do have an antenna in this RV, so if you're in an area where you can pick up local channels, you can do that. They are not smart TVs, but you do have HDMI hookups. And if you go to a campsite that offers the cable hookup, you can watch cable. You have a DVD player on just this one. The overhead TV will not work if the keys are in the ignition or if someone is driving. So this TV will not work if someone's driving. It's just a safety feature to keep the driver from getting distracted. But your bedroom TV will work while someone's driving. We covered the kitchen. This is your fridge and freezer. It's a very good size, residential size fridge and freezer. Right here you have your temperature controls. 9 is the coldest. We usually set it on 7 the day before a rental, and it'll be ice cold the next morning. Mode, you always want to just leave it on auto. So that says it's powering off of LP means propane power, AU means auto. So if you leave it on auto, it'll automatically sense when you're not plugged in versus when you're plugged in. That way it will just automatically switch from propane power to plug-in power as you're going. If you don't need the fridge or freezer, or you just won't be using it for a while, your on-off button is right here. And then you have your freezer. They're both double doors. Okay. Right by your kitchen is your carbon monoxide detector. You also have your smoke detector right there by the entrance. If these are going off slowly, like a slow beep, or your lights are dimming, that's a key that your house battery is getting low. So you would just want to come here and make sure that your house battery is not low by clicking on battery. If that's low, again, you need to crank the engine, give it 15 minutes, it'll charge back up. This is a pull-out bed. It turns into a sleeper. Usually full-size sheets fit this when it's turned into a sleeper. You have your overhead bunk here. So this part, you just pull down. It's like a puzzle piece, and you lay it like that. Then your bunk bed ladder hooks into here, and it sits right here. This is kind of like in between a full and a queen. I usually use queen sheets for this overhead bunk and just tuck them under. You have a privacy curtain for the bunk bed right here, and it just goes all the way across. Also, you want to keep in mind, whoever is sleeping in the overhead bunk, that they keep in mind that the TV is right here, so they don't kick it or damage the TV while they're sleeping. Right here is your coaxial, but there's also an important button right here. This green light should be on, this button should be pressed in. If you're trying to pick up local channels or watch cable TV, this light has to be on. If you're just using the DVD player, you won't really need to worry about it. But again, local channels, or you're trying to connect to the campsite cable, this light would need to be on. This button right here is for the overhead bunk shade. So you press it down and it closes it. You have some cup holders back there. You have some storage right here. You have your overhead bunk light, USB, 110 outlets, some more 110 outlets here. All of your windows in the RV have full privacy pull-down curtains. For the driver's bay, you have to use this cloth curtain. And what you would do is you look for these little strips right here, and these hook on here and go across here, and then you would have full privacy in the front.